Hey y'all, it's about 11:50. If you see the live bug, we're obviously live and we can chit chat back and forth. Just put in the comments and I will try and get to each of you as soon as possible. If there's no live bug, that means this is a replay and the information might have changed a little bit, especially for over around 5 hours from now. Of course, Bree will be in this evening to update you even more so, but we're talking snow again. It is January 15th. This would be our third snowfall of the season. Y'all, we live in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. This is pretty significant for us. Typically, we don't have this much snow, so this is noteworthy, but it's also nothing out of the ordinary. If you recall back, just around, let's see, what year was it? 2010 to 2011, we had 3 or more snowfalls with upwards of an inch. So it is odd for us to see all of this, but it has happened before. The system that I'm working and looking on is still well to our north and west. This seems almost impossible for some people's minds to grasp that is coming in our direction. The reason being, it's going to be like a ping pong ball, or, you know, with those little rubber balls. You're going to take it, and this is the low pressure, it's going to bounce down to the Gulf, and then it's going to project up along the East Coast. It's going to happen fast at really quick speed, but not so quick making its way into our area. And because it has slowed down, remember the other day it was all about, can this get here in time for the cold air to get here? Well, yes, the cold air will be with us. So here's an overall view. This is the Gfs model if you are familiar with some of these model runs. This particular one has a system jetting its way down to the south. It's going to draw in a lot of moisture from the Gulf. Typically, whenever we have a system in the wintertime and it is coming in from the south, pushing northward, that is an ideal situation for snow in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Does it have to happen that way? No, but that gives us more of almost a slam dunk forecast as far as the possibility of it happening. But it's all around the center of this system. So the low pressure center right in this area where it almost looks like a comma. This is what I'm paying so much attention to. If the center were to track a little bit more northward, we're looking at higher snow totals in Kentucky as well as Middle Tennessee. If that track were to go a little bit more southward, we're looking at more snow along the Alabama-Tennessee state line and less snow around Kentucky. The latest model runs are indicated that this center location will stay a little bit more to the south. Now, that's not exiting out complete moisture in Southern Kentucky, but today's accumulation rates that are forecasted are a lot different from what they were yesterday. So here's an up-close version of this particular system. Today, easy. We are just looking to see temperatures staying in the 40s. We head our way into tomorrow. It is not going to rain all day. We will see some showers trying to move in. This particular model has some light rain around 2 o'clock. And then as we head throughout the second half of the day, right around dinner, that's when we're looking to see that change up. The cold air is going to get there and we'll start to see some ice and some sleet. And then that will eventually transition into snowfall as we go from Saturday into Sunday. Throughout our Sunday overnight and into the early morning hours, we've got snow. You see how some of this pink's trying to edge in? That is indicating some warm air trying to basically wiggle its way through. And if we get some of that cold air to move in, that is going to change the impact of the snow. Even though we'll have snow on the ground, when you get some of that warm air to move in, you're talking more in the way of sleet and freezing rain, and that basically just eats up at that snow and causes it to melt faster. So we really have to pay attention of the exact timeline of this. The GFS has been pretty consistent as far as bringing snow all across Middle Tennessee as well as parts of Southern Kentucky. As far as how much snow, this model is showing 15 plus inches in Dixon. Now, Dixon, I don't want you getting married to this number by any stretch of the imagination. What I do want you to notice is that you've got purple along I-40. That's because the center of the circulation, remember that's a big important part, in this model has it going just directly over I-40. So that means we're going to have some of these bands. Deformation is going to take place. They're going to set up shop and they are just going to give heavy amounts of snowfall. Not everybody will see the exact same. You may have X number and then your neighbor has something significantly different. But if it does take this tour, we're going to see heavy snow bands setting up shop along I-40, and then we're also going to have a fair amount of snowfall accumulations along our Kentucky-Tennessee state line, as well as the Alabama-Tennessee state line. Now, this particular model, little different this time around. This is the graph, and it has done a pretty decent job with past storms. This one it's kind of getting on my nerves, to be honest. It hasn't been too consistent. This one has some rainfall coming in late tomorrow, going overnight, and you'll notice how it basically cuts off Nashville southward. This is indicating that more of a southerly track. That would keep snow from really accumulating too much along our Kentucky-Tennessee state line, but it would ramp up totals along to our Alabama-Tennessee state line. This model, as of right now, is basically the outlier. It has a system going really far south, even bringing accumulating snow in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm not buying this as of yet. It's going to have to do a lot of talking to me to get that to take place. Is it out of the question? No. So if this sets up shop, we're looking at tomorrow, some light rain showers in the evening, and then we'll notice that transformation into winter weather as we go overnight into Sunday. So here's kind of the demonstration of what we potentially could see with that path. You'll notice Fayetteville, Lawrenceburg, Leoma, all y'all dealing with the higher accumulation routes. And you head along our Kentucky-Tennessee state line and you basically don't even see one flying flake in your area. So that's another scenario. Here's another one, and then we'll kind of pinpoint things for you. But I want you to know what I'm looking at so it makes it easier for you to distinguish what you're seeing online, because there are all sorts of things that are across the board and they're very misleading and they don't have explanations behind them. So if you were to see one of these model runs, you'll know what it's saying and what it really means. This particular one has some light showers the second half of tomorrow afternoon, but the bulk of the moisture stays down to the south. Now, this model does not go out very far, so we're kind of limited by the information with it, but what I've grasped from what it shows in the initial outpour looks as if it's taking more of that southerly track as well. And then you got another one that's showing more of the track right along I-40. As of right now, this is looking to be more logical and more consistent across the board as far as all of these runs are concerned. And this again then has those snow chances and snow values pretty widespread. We're looking everything from 2 to 7 inches, which I realize some of you are going, okay, that does nothing for me. Trust me, I'm frustrated too. You get these bands that set up shop and then you've got even higher totals. So there is a ton of back and forth going with these particular models. One thing is for sure, there's consistency in the way of if you get moisture, you're gonna be dealing with winter weather as we make our way from Saturday overnight into parts of our Sunday. Because of that, we do have a winter storm watch in place that is going to go in place on Saturday at 6 p.m. and it is going to stay with us until 6 p.m. on Sunday. There's a good likelihood, if this continues to get a little more consistent with the model runs, that we will indeed be able to have a little bit more of a warning in place. And y'all, I'm not sure if this is streaming on our Facebook page or not. Oh, sounds good. We'll do that then. So that's what we're seeing right now as far as our warnings and watches. There's a good chance this will change in the near future. So when it comes to the 7-day forecast, today we're not dealing with too much in the way of winter weather, obviously, none of it. But we do have the potential for some rain moving in Saturday, and then that will transition into winter weather followed by snow, and we'll have a snowy Sunday. But it's all about the timing of this system. Whatever falls will indeed stick and stay, because if you put in perspective, we're in the 20s Monday morning. We're only getting to the upper 30s. So whatever we do have is still going to be a little bit of a dicey issue. Something else that we want to make sure that we're sensitive to the fact are going to be our roadways. TDOT is doing their very best to get things ready to go. Our previous snow system that we had a dry day ahead of it. TDOT went out there and they got everything ready to go. It was in place. So when snow did start to fall, it kind of didn't stick as fast. There weren't as many slick spots. Now, did we have numerous accidents? Yes, but it was better than what it could have been. But since we're going to have rain moving in first, TDOT will not be able to treat the roads as proficiently as what they did last time. So that is going to be to our disadvantage with this system as it moves in. The key takeaway is if the center of this goes a little bit to the south, we're looking at less accumulating snow along our Kentucky-Tennessee state line. If the center of this goes a little to the north, less accumulating snow down along the state line. But models are really trending that it is going to go very close to I-40. Now, if you're along I-40, I don't want you to think, oh, we're getting 20 inches of snow. No. Now, will there be spots that are pretty impressive when it comes to accumulation? Yes, that is because of these bands that will set up and they just let it pour because we're going to have so much of this snow. But of course, if some warm air tries to sneak in, as this particular model indicates, that would erode some of that. Right now, I have confidence that we will have some snow in the area. I really look for majority of it to be up along I-40 southward. Kentucky, Tennessee state line, I still look to see some accumulating snow for y'all, but as far as the significant snowfall as what we were seeing a few model runs back, that just isn't looking so likely. It looks as if it's going to take just a dip down to our south. So there are a lot of variables involved. There are a lot of models that are coming out there. Please do not get too hung up in what exact amount you're getting close to your area. These are not going to really pan out just perfectly. This is not the gospel. These are truly large math equations put into a computer and it spits them out. We have the knowledge to interpret them. And so we want you to interpret them as well when you see this online, because it can be very confusing. And this is how rumors get started. Now, could we see someone with 15 inches? Yeah, but it wouldn't be a large quantity at this time. I just don't feel confident with that. But we are looking at these systems, hugs more to our south, less accumulation. Regardless, whatever we have as we transition from Saturday into Sunday and it's fallen, good chance it's going to be snow. We're going to have that winter weather with us. Please make sure that you are just staying proactive. Make sure you've got a plan in place. I know a lot of churches, especially if you attend church in the city, Zeal Church where I go, they've actually already said, okay, we're going to have church online. So be looking for those announcements in the days to come. As we get closer with this forecast, we're able to really pinpoint more so. It's really going to help as far as plans are concerned. But right now, as far as warnings and watches, we don't have any, but we do have a winter storm watch that will come into play starting at 6 o'clock this evening, going to 6 o'clock on Sunday. There's a good chance some of this will get upgraded to a warning. Right now, we're just really looking to see exactly where the center of the system makes its way so we can give a better indication and you'll get more of a detailed analysis of what exactly will happen in your neighborhood. Regardless, give some grace, give some patience, because we are dealing with another round of winter weather. The Storm 5 weather alert will go into play starting tomorrow evening, continuing overnight into Sunday. Things will change, but we are going to be right here with you every step of the way. Stay safe.